Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. I got a chance to meet with my Secret Service source yesterday, and interestingly enough, this morning there was a letter that was sent by a member of Congress that is almost addressing exactly what I was informed of as regular activity yesterday. Let me show you first. Here's the letter on screen by Josh Hawley, who is a United States Senator, and it was sent to Alejandro Mayorkas, who is the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And he said, "Dear Secretary Mayorkas, I write to raise concerns brought to me by whistleblowers about your department's stunning failure to protect former President Trump on July 13th, 2024. As Secretary of Homeland Security, DHS, you are ultimately responsible for your agency and its components, including the United States Secret Service. Whistleblowers who have direct knowledge of the event have approached my office. According to the allegations, the July 13th rally was considered to be a loose security event. For example, detection canines were not used to monitor entry and detect threats in the usual manner. Individuals without proper designations were allowed to gain access to backstage areas. Department personnel did not appropriately police the security buffer around the podium and were also not stationed at regular intervals around the event's security perimeter. In addition, whistleblower allegations suggest the majority of DHS officials were not, in fact, United States Secret Service agents, but instead drawn from the Department of Homeland Security investigations. This is especially concerning given that HSI agents were unfamiliar with the standard protocols typically used at these types of events, according to the allegations. As a member of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, which has oversight jurisdiction over your department, I will continue to investigate your department's role in the staggering security failures on July 13th. Unfortunately, your department has not been appropriately forthcoming with members of Congress, abruptly ending the only call with the United States Secret Service before most senators could even ask a question. This is completely unacceptable and contrary to the public's interest in transparency. Instead, we have learned more from whistleblowers than your department's officials. I will continue to protect the anonymity and confidentiality of all who contact my office and ensure that they receive the full protections under the law to which they are entitled, so that my office can continue its investigation into the events of July 13, 2024. Please provide the following information no later than 7 days from now. 1. How did DHS determine to staff the event, including any decisions to rely on state or local officers? 2. What percentage of the DHS agents at the event were from HSI rather than USSS? Were the majority of officers at the event drawn from HSI and other DHS components rather than Secret Service? If so, why? 3. Were HSI agents properly trained in staffing these types of events? 4. Did gaps exist in the security perimeter, and were the usual protocols followed for the use of canines and magnetometers? 5. Were the agents not appropriately stationed around the podium? 6. Were the standard protocols followed for issuing designated pins to vetted personnel that are allowed backstage? 7. How long did agents physically spend on the ground surveying the site before the event? Did any paperwork obligations prevent a longer and more robust site survey? I await your response. Josh Hawley, United States Senator. And this was also forwarded to Kimberly Cheadle, the Director of Secret Service. So, in addition to President Biden's security detail, Donald Trump's detail, at that point in time, he was still a former president, so his detail was not as large as it is right now as the official nominee. It increased once he was going to the RNC for the official nomination, so his detail is bigger now. But even on Saturday, so you had Biden's detail, the shifts that are working with him. You had Trump's detail. You also had 2 other events which drew from Secret Service staffing and personnel. You had Jill Biden, who for some reason had a campaign rally in Pittsburgh, and you also had the NATO summit in Washington, D.C. that was covered by Secret Service as well. Now, what did I learn from my friend at Secret Service. This pulling in of HSI personnel is what is normal. They supplement from other groups, and it is something that is regularly done at every single event all the time. Now, they pull in these personnel to fill holes. Now, I didn't ask my friend because I didn't want to put them in an obvious spot, but what was the proper staffing level and how many were non-Secret Service? Also, the building that the shooter was on, we do now know that was local police, and they were on the second floor doing overwatch through a window. The temperature, not that this makes any difference at all, but the temperature on the roof of that building, it was a metal roof, was could have been around 140 degrees based off of charts I've seen with ambient temperature and metal roofs. So that might be a reason why there was nobody on the roof, but regardless, they should have had somebody on the roof, or at least, the very least, you have people on opposite corners of the building to secure the building, watch all the entrance and exit points, which they didn't do that either. They also didn't have personnel walking around on patrol. There was a lot of things that could have gone wrong, and it appears as though they all did go wrong. So I will continue to have more on this as more comes out, and just a bad situation all around. I just personally don't think anyone will be held accountable for this, and that's the worst part of this. You have the most powerful people in the world, U.S. presidents, with the most high-speed personal security details, Secret Service, and it appears as one was put in harm's way because of a lot of issues that should have never happened. Let me know what you guys and gals think on this topic in this letter down below. Until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun. My neighbor is starting to mow his lawn. I apologize, but it's too beautiful out here. Have a great day, and always tell your family you love them. Take care.